Hey guys, welcome to oddsmarket.com. Back with us now is Nigel Seeley, having a great Premier League season. And he's here to give us some more value tips. They're headed into the weekend. Nigel, thanks for being here.
Yeah, I can't wait. Good week last week, continuing their winning run, and our percentage is getting higher and higher and higher, Natalie.
Yeah. And I looked at your bets there, and well done for those, because we had some upsets. We had several 0-0 draws. Manchester United, some of the results that came out over the weekend. Certainly, if you were to have played the outright, I think you would have, you would have lost a lot of money. I think sticking with other bets, total goals, that kind of thing, definitely in for a chance of making money last weekend.
Yeah, I thought it was a tricky weekend. Manchester United let me down. It was the only one of the teams that really did let me down. I didn't expect that performance. But I think the goals dried up and the form sort of turned on its head. But to get profit in a week like that's fantastic.
Yeah. Is it because it's getting colder over in the UK that, what is the reason? Or is it just the way that it worked out this time? Do you think we'll see more goals on average headed into this weekend? Or do you think, again, maybe as it gets a little chilly and summer's gone, what do you think?
Well, I think it's always chilly in England, so don't worry about that.
Okay.
But the end of the day, really, I think the fixture list was a tough one. So there was very evenly matched sides, and you get that some weeks. You get some very evenly matched sides. The big shock was Arsenal drawing 0-0 against Middlesbrough. Mm-hmm. I mean, that was the big shock. Everyone expected Arsenal to win by 3 or 4. They were expecting goals in that 0-0 in that game. I think the fixture list is tight, and I think this weekend as well, I think there's some very tight games as well. So I think the goal trends might continue for the next couple of weeks. And at the moment, this is a very, very tight league.
Yeah, it is. You're seeing teams jumping from place to place.
Yeah. It's very, very close. It's very close at the bottom. It's very, very close at the top. And I think that's great for football. And I think we'll see some really tight games going on from now until the business end of the season.
Yeah. Got to ask, any lean at all or inkling who may end up at top at this point? Or is it too soon to tell?
Well, it's funny you asked that, because I actually did a preview today of the Premier League title, and I went through the odds, and I couldn't have Man City at the prices. 2.5 was far too short.
Yeah.
I thought Liverpool had the massive advantage of not being in Champions League football, but they bottled it a couple of years ago, didn't they? And that's in the back of their minds. I looked at Arsenal. Arsenal are doing well now. They do well every season. And then when it gets to March and February, they get 6 players injured. And they come to Chelsea. I looked at Chelsea, and they've won 3-0 against Leicester, 4-0 against Manchester United, and they're 6.5. They've been there, they've done it. And at the moment now, if someone gave me a bet to have, I think Chelsea would be the side I'd back. They're getting better and better and better. Costa is getting the best out of Hazard, and they're proven winners. So on the prices, I think Chelsea are a bit of value. But no Champions League football, no European football to concentrate on. Big chance.
All right, great stuff. Listen, how many bets have you got now headed into the Premier League weekend?
I've only got 2, Natalie. I've only gone for 2 this week. The first bet is Watford to beat Hull. I think Watford are a massive price at 1.8. I think Hull are going to fall down the table very, very quickly. Watford have got goals in them. We know Gala, we know Troy Deeney. We know Hull are leaking goals at an alarming rate at the moment. They're a side that started off really well with their opening day win against Leicester, but they've just gone on a downward spiral ever since. I think they're in big trouble this season. I think Watford are a very, very confident selection at 1.8 to beat Hull. I think that's my banker of the Premier League this weekend.
Yeah, totally agree with you as well. Hull's poor form, haven't won a match in 4. Obviously lost to Stoke over the weekend, 2-0. Watford at home, they haven't lost in 3 games. They've drawn 2, they've won 1. I think that's an amazing price. Actually, very surprised to see that one, 1.8. What else do you like?
Only one more, and it's a bit left field. We know Liverpool scoring goals for fun. That we know that they concede a few goals as well, but they go to Crystal Palace at the weekend, and this is a tough place to go. Palace famously stopped Liverpool winning the title a couple of years ago. They were 3-0 when they won that game. They got pegged back to 3-3, and Liverpool's record in South East London isn't very good. And I like Crystal Palace here plus 1 goal. The way Liverpool play, I think Liverpool will always concede a goal. So for them, if you're backing plus 1 goal, they've got to score 3 goals for you to lose money. And I think Palace plus 1 goal, 1.72 is a decent bet. I think it's a real tough match. Palace, under the lights, are a very tough side to beat at home. Not so good away from home, but I think they'll really put on a challenge for a Liverpool side. I think Liverpool may find this a tough one. I'm going to have Palace plus 1 goal against Liverpool.
And you wouldn't play because I quite like Liverpool win, actually, 1.71. You wouldn't play that one?
I wouldn't back Liverpool, no. I really wouldn't. I think their record here is pretty poor. We know They, like we said, they lost the title here. Really, that almost when they gave their way that 3 lead. Palace is a real tough place to go for the big sides, and that stadium is rocking. I've been there a few times when the big teams come, and it's an intimidating place, one of the most intimidating places in the Premier League. And I don't think Liverpool will have it all their way at all. And I think that Palace will give them a really good go for the money. The thing is, the one goal, what I like about the one goal, and that is that you can, Liverpool might win it, but they concede so many goals. So, you might get your money back because the chances are Liverpool aren't going to win by 2 because they're going to concede 1. I can't see Liverpool scoring 3. Mm-hmm. So that's why I like the one goal.
All right. So one of the bets actually that I quite like, maybe a little left field as well, West Brom versus Man City. Man City, they've got to go back and face Barcelona after that 4-0 defeat after the weekend. West Brom at home. West Brom have actually scored 6 goals at home this season. And I think Man City have conceded 5 on the road. I think we're going to see both teams scoring in here. And not a bad price at all, about 2.3 for both teams to score. I like that bet.
Well, I think if you back both teams to score over 2.5 goals in West Brom games, you always do get a big price because everyone has this belief that Tony Pulis is a boring manager. He sets his side out to defend. But the thing is, they're taking on Man City at a great time. He'll be relishing this. I mean, they're in disarray at the moment. I don't think they've won in their last 5 games or 4 games, whatever it is. They have to then go to Barcelona in midweek. That's going to definitely be on their minds. This is a perfect opportunity for them to really get at them. The goalie, it looks absolutely useless. Bravo. I mean, he's absolutely terrible. Mm-hmm. And that's the first thing you do. West Brom put it straight in on the goalkeeper, get amongst them. So, yeah, I think there's goals in here. I think there could be a potential of a shock in that game as well. It was very close to being one of my bets. West Brom plus a goal or plus a half. And I do like both teams to score because I don't think Man City really fancy it at the moment in the Premier League.
No, I certainly wouldn't stick Man City in an accumulator bet, that's for sure. Also, you haven't mentioned anything from Arsenal. You don't think Arsenal's going to bounce back here against bottom of the league Sunderland? Get quite a good price here, either Arsenal half-time, full-time, 2.15, or Arsenal -1, which is 1.64. I think they are going to bounce back after that 0-0 draw there. Obviously, they travel to Sunderland, Stadium of Light. But I'm expecting actually a comfortable Arsenal win. I think they'll bounce back.
Well, they should do. I mean, Sunderland are dreadful. I mean, absolutely dreadful. But I wouldn't back Arsenal away from home at the prices on offer. I really wouldn't. I mean, again, they have a tough Champions League game as well. They've got to go over to Bulgaria to play Ludogorets. I know they won 6-0 at the Emirates, but that's a tough trip away from home. Not one that big guys really relish. So I can see wholesale changes for Arsenal. And at the prices, especially after the weekend against Middlesbrough, I wouldn't back them. They should win it, but for me, no bet.
All right, no bet, no value there. Okay, final one, because I've just got to bring this one up. Monday's Premier League match, Stoke versus Swansea. Stoke enter as rightful favourites here on their turf. Haven't lost a match in 4. They've drawn 2. They've won 2. And then obviously Swansea, they come from a succession of losses. They only broke their no-losing record with a draw over the weekend. And I think Stoke to win evens. I don't think you can argue with that one.
2 very different contrasting styles. Stoke a little bit more physical against the Swansea side who aren't so physical. I mean, obviously, Mark Hughes is changing that philosophy at Stoke. I've had an absolute massive result of the week on Monday night, Natalie. I've been invited around to the mother-in-law's for dinner, and she hasn't got Sky Television, so I don't have to watch this. So it's an absolute fantastic result. I think under 2.5 goals. Wouldn't surprise me to see another 0-0. It's one game that I have just absolutely no interest in whatsoever. I do think you may be right, but I think under goals could be the way forward. And I'm delighted that I'll be watching Coronation Street rather than the football.
That must be saying something. All right, then. But it looks like our value bet here, the banker of the weekend, is Watford win their 1.8. Is that right, Nigel?
Definitely. Watford all the way to beat the Tigers. Biggest joke nickname in the world, Tigers. There's no roar in them. Hull are going down. Watford win.
All right, there you go. You've heard it here first. Nigel, thanks for joining us.